Live from the Score Atlanta television studios in North Atlanta, this is Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
Sager sitting my left. Najee Wilkins, I don't know where he's sitting, but he's undercover and dry, which is good news. And what a night.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week, not a typical Friday, but
right.
We'll make the best of it. We got a good guest today, and we're going to cover
all 23 games tonight, I think? Yeah. And, of course, Craig and our guy Macon, Seth Ellerby, who is on the IR right now for back surgery. And Graham David will step in for him tonight, but it was a crazy night. I mean, we live on the river, and the river crested, and I mean it just kept raining. I'm thinking we're going to have a terrible flood in the basement, but we were okay. It wasn't as bad. I mean, I think there was some areas hit pretty hard, but it seems like our areas sort of survived.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, but last night around like 8 o'clock, that rain was so heavy.
Yeah,
I don't know how people were out in that. So good thing they didn't play last night.
Yeah, I think, and I think that was a good decision. We're going to get to the fast break headlines. Like I said, we've got some games tonight. Usually have about 140, I guess, or no, more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 400.
Yeah, about two. Yeah, so about 180 games a week with with bye weeks and stuff like that. There should be 23 games played tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later and sort of talk about some of these teams that have rescheduled for Saturday. We've got about 40 games tomorrow. And there's some good games, and we'll be on top of it. You'll be able to go to scoreatl.com and ajc.com as well. Craig, kind of an interesting story out of Mary Persons.
Yes, this broke yesterday. Very surprising, so we'll move on to headline 2. Mary Persons was forced to forfeit 3 games, I believe, but now they are 0-4. So this is a team that was ranked number 3 in Class 3A. They're still going to be ranked. We'll see what Todd does with the movement. In these situations, typically when a team has been penalized, yeah, that's going to reflect on the record. But we saw it with Cedar Grove a few years ago when they had to fight their way into a 4 seed. They ended up winning it all. But they're now 0-4. Additional information, here we go. Mary Persons was forced to vacate 4 of its wins in the 2024 season. They now must pay a fine of $1,500 for having an ineligible player, according to the Monroe County School press release. They have been put on an extreme warning for the next full school year. And as long as the game goes interrupted, they will be playing Upson Lee this week.
How do you screw that up?
Yeah, it was a paperwork issue.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's some paperwork stuff, but look, I know the coach there. He's not going to do something under the table. He's just not that type of guy. And he probably, I imagine this is probably, if I had to guess, is probably self-reported.
Yep. Yeah. It says the release added, GHSA officials determined that Mary Persons did not submit the correct paperwork for the transfer student to play and did not properly outline the academic eligibility of the current unnamed player. So a lot of people think it's a free-for-all now, but obviously they're still cracking down on these rules.
Well, here's the issue. And now let's bring Najee in on this because I want to talk about this for a second. Here's the issue. If you don't self-report, okay, and you continue, then you get stung later. So it's still early enough in the season, Najee, for Mary Persons to recover from this. Mary Persons is an excellent football program. We've had them in Corky Kell before. I'm a fan of their coach. But I imagine what happened here is they realized it, but they realized it not too far into region play, so they'll still, Najee, have a chance to get into the playoffs because they are a good football team.
Yes, they are. They're a phenomenal team. Remember, they played that Canada team that came down early in the year when we had their coach on. So they're a phenomenal team. But as we've been talking about, IJ, you got to make sure like the move is bona fide. Like you got to make sure you're crossing your T's, you're dotting your I's when you do these moves. I know, obviously, you have a high school transfer portal now, but you want to make sure everything is going to standard. And sometimes it's work to GHSA President Tim Scott or even the GHSA staff just to make sure, hey, are we doing everything right? We would have a kid that wants to transfer. Is this meeting all of your guidelines? And I think that's an important lesson for other schools and make sure you're doing it the right way, or it could potentially penalize you. Fortunately for Mary Persons, it did not towards region play where it don't affect them in the playoffs potentially. But for other teams, this is just, I think, a learning lesson.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see where Najee puts them in the rankings, see if that impacts anything. But I have it pulled up. I was right. In 2020, Cedar Grove ended up having to forfeit their first 4 games. 3 of those were in the region, including to GAC. Again, they won and had to flip. They ended up getting a playoff seed, though. Late in the season, it was a crazy COVID year. They made it to the quarterfinals. So that's the last time I've seen like a really premier, highly ranked team get the 0-4 start.
Well, and typically, it's a paperwork issue. I mean, that's what it usually comes down to. The athletic director's typically the one that's in charge of this. There's typically an assistant at the school, an assistant principal that is looking at all the paperwork, and usually it's just a screw up on the paperwork, and because they have to go down to Thompson and basically appeal, and they, I mean, he was ruled eligible initially, but obviously they found some stuff, and like I think, if I had to guess, Mary Persons self-reported.
Yep, and that'll be a must-win game for them against Upson Lee now.
Yep. Najee, next headline.
Yes, sir. So Brookwood softball's Tavia Robinson, she committed to Appalachian State. She is outfielder and second baseman for the program. Was a first-team all-region and all-county selection last season as a sophomore. Through 14 games this year, she's hitting .565 with a home run, 4 doubles, a triple, 11 RBIs, 24 runs, and 12 stolen bases. Congratulations to Brookwood softball's Tavia Robinson on her commitment to Appalachian State. All right, at number 4, this will warm some hearts here. Appalachia, will play their first game after the school shooting. They're going to play Clark Central due to the hurricane. They're going to play at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and all ticket proceeds for the game will be donated to Appalachia High School from Clark Central. Their athletic director, John Ward, wrote in an email on Wednesday night. Tickets should be about $8. He said this: after conversation with our principal and our athletic director, we all 3 had a discussion, and it was time to get our football players back on the field, head coach Mike Hancock said. I met with our seniors, talked with them, and our seniors are excited. Obviously, there will be some hesitation, which I understand that, but they'll be excited to play on Saturday. The Wildcats have missed the last 3 weeks of games after the shooting on September 4th that took the lives of 2 14-year-old students and 2 math teachers, one of which was dubbed as the football team's defensive coordinator, Richard Aspinwall, too soon. Final quote: the coaching staff feels good, Hancock said. That was something we talked about, and they're ready to get back. Obviously, they support our kids, and they want to do, as a whole, what we feel is best for our kids.
And Najee, one of the things that we are going to do is we will have at the Hall of Fame, the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame, we will be doing some type of presentation to the team, but I also hope it'll be also a presentation to the defensive coordinator's family, because I think of really, I mean, the 4 that passed, the 2 teachers, I mean, they've got families, they need help, and we're gonna do something at the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame coming up. So you've got flag football.
And best of luck to both those teams. That's going to be a special game. All right, headline number 5, DeKalb's flag football season kicks off with a jamboree. As you know, flag football is upon us. 12 DeKalb County girls flag football teams get a taste for the upcoming season as they compete in the jamboree at Cobb Stadium this Saturday. Games begin at 3 o'clock as Stone Mountain and MLK face off. To get things rolling, 5 more games follow. Flag football has grown from 3 DeKalb schools participating in 2020 to now 18. So it is picking up. What a great opportunity for DeKalb. They excel at so many girls' sports, but just to have this extra one to start off the school year, I think we're going to see a lot of the state's best come from there.
Yeah, and you're going to see us next Wednesday night at West Forsyth High School, Corky Kell, Dave Hunter, Flag Classic, 4 games starting at 5:30. And we will have all 4 of them right here on the Peachtree Sports Network. We're really excited about flag football. Najee will be calling the game along with Chris Millman, who basically right now runs the foundation. He doesn't run the entire Arthur Blank Foundation, but he is sort of in charge of United Falcons and what they're all doing. So we're excited about that. And he's, Arthur's really been the one that has, kick-started this. anything takes money, guys, and Arthur has got a big heart, but he's also got a big wallet, and he definitely puts his money where his mouth is. And let's put our graphic back up there, Ashley, for a second. Like I said, Corky Kell Dave Hunter Flag Football Classic. You can scan their QR code for tickets for that. You can also go to scoreatl.com, top right. You can buy tickets that way. And like I said, that'll be Wednesday starting at 5:30 right here on the Peachtree Sports Network. All right, update on the Georgia High School Football Daily this morning. They had four. This was actually very, and I think they did it because of the storm. They had 4 questions with the Assistant Executive Director and Football Coordinator, Jay Russell. Of course, Jay is one of Irk Russell's kids, the great defensive coordinator and Georgia Southern coach, a defense coordinator at Georgia that won the championship back in '80. But he just talked about how crazy. We talked to Tim Scott yesterday. He told us, but it's actually Jay Russell that's in charge of football, and he spun a lot of, had a lot of balls in the air, but he seems to have done a really good job of getting through this. The good news is that teams were able to play their games that moved to Wednesday night. I don't think there were no games last night, right?
Nope.
Nobody.
There's supposed to be 5. They all got
Yeah,
canned.
there's no way you could play last night. They also have state yardage leaders, 3 players, as far as from the actually Northwest Georgia, which doesn't surprise me, are leading their 3 top categories. Chattooga's Zayden Cook, who Najee and Craig have talked about, 1,328 rushing yards, over 250 per game. Chattooga is 5-0. Treon's Cade Smith has the most passing yards in the state at 1,409. And Chattooga and Treon are in the same county, and Treon is 6-0. And also, it's Tryon, not Treon. I see this. Thank you for reminding me on my script here. And then Heritage Ringgold's Cody Bryan has 701 yards receiving. So that's good news. Real quickly on the national rankings, it looks like Milton dropped a little bit. They dropped from 10 to 12 in the national rankings, but they're still, up there very high in a lot of the polls. In fact, that's the National Cal Prep poll, which is the top 100. So they're number 12 in that. In the USA Today poll, they're number 4. They stayed the same. In the Max Preps, which is also a top 100, they're number 3. In the Massey ratings, which is the top 100, they fell from 17 to 19. And then they are number 4 in High School Football America, and then number 6 in Sports Illustrated's high school ranking. Number 3 is their highest ranking. That is in the national HSFB.com, which is a top 25. Actually, want to mention Buford's number 12, Carrollton's number 20, and then in Blue Star Media poll, top 25, Milton's 4, Carrollton's 6, Buford is 13. Week 6 superlatives, just real quickly, team of the week was Westside Augusta. Player of the week, Sean Clark from Norcross, and offensive line of the week was Richmond Hill. Real quickly, in fact, we'll come back and talk about the Hall of Fame because we're running out of time here for the first segment. But don't forget, on the morning newsletter, it's free. You can always go to the website, the Georgia High School Football Daily.com website, and you can sign up for it. It's very, very good. We're a partner with them. All right, when we get back, got a lot to talk about. We got an interview with Rusty Mansell coming up here on the Peachtree Sports Network.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
The Georgia Sheet Metal JETC equips apprentices with the knowledge and skills required to start a rewarding career in the sheet metal industry with programs in HVAC, industrial welding, and testing, adjusting, and balancing. Training is 100% free and allows apprentices to earn as they learn. Journeymen graduate with no student debt and have the potential to earn more than most college graduates. Visit our website to learn more about this opportunity at careersinsheetmetal.com.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, IJ Rosenberg back here, Georgia High School Sports Daily. It's Friday after the storm. We are drying out like everybody else. Craig Sager. We'll also have Najee Wilkins back in a few minutes. Want to bring in Rusty Mansell from On 3 Dogs HQ. Rusty, how you doing?
Good. How about you guys? Safe?
Hey, yeah. How about you? Did y'all get a lot of what? A lot of rain?
Man, it just unfortunately, the east side of Georgia took the kind of blunt of this thing, and I think everybody thought 75 from Atlanta up was going to get it, and it wound up being Augusta all the way up through Greenville. So
did y'all get any rain or anything? Or
we got a little bit of rain, but Barrett Davis is a guy that's coached in our Georgia Elite Classic like 4 years in a row. He absolutely loves it. Already texted me want to coach again. He's the head coach at Evans High School. I did check on him this morning. He said, man, our power's out. It was really rough, but it sounds like they made it over there. But it sounds like Augusta, man, that's the state of Georgia. You really need to kind of keep in your thoughts the rest of the day. They got hit really hard.
And, of course, Rusty Mansell, very involved in the Georgia Elite Classic as well as the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame. And I did want to mention that the featured player this morning in the Daily, in Todd Holcomb and Chip Say's Daily, was Homer Jordan. Of course, Homer Jordan, great player at Cedar Shoals. Got a chance. Yep. I was a 10th grader. We were playing him in the sub-region playoffs, beat him actually in '78, but got the opportunity to watch Homer Jordan play.
Look at the size of that jersey. Look how wide that thing is. I mean, it's like a parachute.
Netting.
That dude would be so much faster today. He'd be so much faster today.
Well, that was back in the day where we wore anybody, if you're a receiver or a running back, you wore what was called tearaway jerseys because you had them lined up. It was crazy. But Homer, of course, went on and led Clemson to a state championship. We're real excited about having him, Rusty, about inducting Homer. Who was a tremendous player, went on and played 4 seasons in the Canadian Football League. And, of course, you can read more about that on the Georgia High School Football Daily every morning, as well as on their website. Real quickly, their trivia, what region that is opening play this week has 4 5-0 teams? Rusty, can you answer that question? Which region?
Is it region? Well, it can't be region 1 because Colquitt lost. I don't know. That's a great question.
Actually, you had it right.
Oh, Richmond Hill. Okay,
Richmond Hill.
Richmond Hill. Sorry. Yeah.
So the 5th team right now is Colquitt, which is a little bit scary.
That's crazy.
And then today's trivia, which is what 5 GHSA football teams have Hurricane in their nickname?
So it'd be Cartersville, Monroe area.
Okay.
Fitzgerald.
Right.
Man, I should know this, but I don't know. There's 3. Who would be the other 2?
Well, we're not going to mention them because we'll wait until Monday to mention them. So,
good.
But you got 3 of the 5. If you're playing baseball, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Rusty, obviously we'll talk about. We talked yesterday with 247 Sports about the number of recruits that are going to be at this game tomorrow night, which is incredible. I know that some of them will not be able to go because their games have been changed. But talk a little bit about what to expect recruiting-wise tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa.
Those. I think people put too much emphasis on wins and losses. Kids, here's the thing: it's logistically. And Georgia and Alabama have all of that taken care of. Number one, you want this player and parent to have a good experience. You're not going to really get to sit down and find out about the recruiting process tomorrow. You want to know what that stadium's going to be like when your son's in there. You want to know what this environment's going to be like. But IJ, over the 15, 16 years I've done it, you want the day to go smooth, and you don't want those parents sitting in 3-hour lines. Alabama and Georgia, I talked to a million parents. They've got this thing down. When you sign in, check in, it's a smooth operation. You get through the recruiting thing. You get to the stadium. You can't actually do the walk with the players, but you get the chance to watch it. They'll sit them in a special area. But most importantly, it's not wins and losses. Like if you go over there and get your tail beat in a game at home, that doesn't help things, but they always reverse that going, see, I told you can play early. So there's always ways to combat it. To me, it's been what it's like, the experience. I don't think wins and losses matter as much as people think. It's been the experience. Love Mark Rick to death. He had a dog night camp one night. They had too many people there. And they had guys like Trevor Lawrence waiting in line 3 hours to register. And that just cannot happen. But when you look at these recruiting days, these big-time environments tomorrow night, you cannot put a dollar sign on this for Alabama to be able to host a game. And I'll give you one more comment on that, IJ. That's why Kirby Smart wants this Georgia-Florida game a home and home every other year, a chance to bring those players into Sanford Stadium for a big environment, because he's not selling players on one game a year in Jacksonville. He's selling them on 6 or 7 home games in Athens, and your parents being here, that type of things. There's 2 different ways around it. South Georgia people, don't kill me, because I want this thing to stay in Jacksonville, but I'm telling you the other side of it. And the reason why Kirby Smart wants this game home and home is because recruiting purposes.
Rusty, explain to us, okay, Alabama's the host, okay? So they'll, they can use their facilities, they can do all that. Georgia, what does Georgia do tomorrow night? How do they handle their part of the kids that are going to be there to watch them?
Can't see, can't talk, that's not your property.
Right.
So Alabama gets, what happens is if I.J. Rosenberg gets invited to the game, by NCAA rules, I.J. Rosenberg gets a total of 3. I always thought it should be 4, because you can take a brother and a sister or something, but if you're a recruit, you get 1 + 2 for a total of 3. Most people bring their mom and dad and the player. They are visitors of Alabama. Alabama staff can visit one-on-one. Just take, for example, a couple weeks ago, Georgia played Tennessee Tech. They had 200 kids on there. Well, Kirby Smart met with 4 kids one-on-one before the game. I would imagine tomorrow with this time, Kalen DeBoer, game day visits, he will probably go one-on-one 15 minutes. I would probably say about 15 kids, 10, 12 kids. They will bring him in. He'll have an office at the stadium. They'll bring him in one-on-one. He'll meet with each one of those very, very important kids, and then everyone else is involved in recruiting. But Georgia has nothing to do logistically. They're not. The rule of thumb is you don't talk to those kids. You might wave at somebody on the sideline, but you don't interfere, and that's never been an issue. I've never heard that from a visiting school in Athens, and Georgia certainly. They'll just kind of see a kid over. They might text him during the day or something. Hey, see you tonight, but that's not it's all on Alabama tomorrow night.
So, Rusty, we're also hearing some mono issues that are in the locker room with Georgia right now. What's the update? What's going on with that?
One player, London Humphreys, has that. That's the young man that transferred down from Vanderbilt. So, I hadn't heard anything widespread. Now they got this NCAA SEC injury report. And so, you look at Georgia and all the injuries there are kind of, we know what they are. And this young man can't play this week, and you hope he gets back, because he's shown some flashes of kind of what they brought him in for, that speed and being able to extend plays. But he will not be here this weekend, obviously, and it's being diagnosed as mono with him.
Rusty, tell us, I was writing yesterday sort of my Facebook piece on the game. It seems like the main issue, I don't want to say issue, but replacing 2 great receivers has been tough for Georgia. At the same time, Alabama's defensive backfield, they lost some great kids back there. So, you sort of look at those 2 spots, the young 100%. Receivers for Georgia against, look, the game could come down to that, or I think but I really think, Rusty, this game comes down to quarterbacks. I think you have
100%.
2 excellent quarterbacks, very different. You saw that in the SEC championship. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. But, from the Alabama side, you lost Dallas Turner, who was a first rounder. You lost Caleb Downs to Ohio State, who's going to be a first rounder. You lost Terry Arnold, who was a first rounder. You lost Kool-Aid McKinstry, who should have been a first rounder. On the other side, Georgia lost Amarius Mims, who was a first rounder, Brock Bowers, who was a first rounder, and Lam McConkey, who was 3 picks from being a first rounder. So there's a lot of very talented players from Georgia's offense, skill-wise, is gone, and a protector in Mims. And then you look at that edge rusher in Dallas Turner, who is gone, and you look at those corners and that safety for Alabama. So, we can speculate all you want, but tomorrow night, the one thing we're going to have out of those group is answers, because I think Alabama plays a lot more man-to-man under Kane Womack. I watched a little bit of them the other night. Nick Saban, very complex defense and mix and match and all those things. But Kane Womack looks like he lines his guys up and says, we're going to come get you. We're going to out-athlete you. We feel like we can cover you. Can Georgia's guys get off coverage? And can Carson Beck deliver those throws? Jalen Milroe, can Georgia get him to the ground? If I hear Kirby Smart, one more interview, I listened to an interview with him with DJ Shockley yesterday, and the first thing he said was, can we get this guy to the ground? And that's where Jalen Milroe, I think he throws one of the best deep balls in college football. Man, if you watch that ball and the way it comes down to a receiver's pocket, it's very catchable, nose down. I don't think the football nerd in me watches things like that. The thing with Jalen Milroe is getting him to the ground. You will watch how many tackles he runs through where it should have been a 3-yard gain, and it winds up being an 11-yard gain. And 3 times a game that happens, and those are what moves, drives, extends plays.
We're talking to Rusty Mansell. We're going to wrap up right now, but we're going to go just a little bit late because I'm interested in something. We were supposed to have Savannah Christian tonight. Both of us are the ones that do the games on Friday night. We pick them together. Savannah Christian was supposed to come up and play Blessed Trinity, which we love the matchup. But even more so, the big lineman for Savannah Christian, who I guess everybody has number 1. Is he the overall number 1 player in the state?
He's yes, Elijah Griffin. He's the number 1 defensive lineman in the country for on 3. I think he's the industry-wide number 1 defensive lineman. I got a chance to see him play Cedar Grove last year. I got a chance to watch him practice last fall. I mean, I've been doing it long enough to know, IJ, you just look at him, you watch him in practice, and you go, yeah, that's one of the, kind of reminds me of Derek Brown. And I hate to put that on a young man because it's such a high pick and such a high-producing player in college, but when you're ranked number 1 in the country by everybody that does this, that's kind of where he is. I'm telling you now, their defensive end, LaDamian Guyton, is the sophomore defensive end, and Charles Power for on 3, who I think is the best evaluating guy in the country. He called me up and he goes, Rusty, this is Will Anderson. And I said, that's exactly who he is. And he's the number 1 player. He's the number 1 overall player in the country. So they got the number 1 defensive lineman in the class of 2025. And then you look at their sophomore defensive end, who's about 6'4" edge guy. He is so twitchy, so fast, so powerful. He's the number 1 overall player in the country right now. And then you go look at DJ Jacobs at Blessed Trinity, who is a top 10 player in the country in his class for 2027. So, listen, we're safety first, but that certainly hurt, man. I mean, me and Brandon Adams last night, we had a pity party on the phone. We really wanted to call that game, and I know you wanted to have it, but we get it, man. And you think about this, IJ, when I woke up this morning and I watched that storm went through Statesboro and Augusta, the right decision was made not to put those kids on buses and if they could get here. But, man, that one hurt. I'm not going to lie. That one hurt. But I do get to see my Purple Dragons play tonight. First time I've seen them play in a long time. And
you got a
we're
Friday,
playing
night off.
Darlington, baby.
Hey, Rusty, real quick, I know you're running a little bit of a special this week for people that want to sign up for Dogs HQ. Can you tell us?
Yeah, 50% off annual subscription, and that comes to like $4.99 a month. And here's the thing I found, IJ. People ask me, can we get it for gifts? Yeah, I mean, that's great. Just email us. You can get it for your uncle. You can get it for your dad, whoever you want. They got a great Georgia fan. So it's 50% off an annual subscription, which equals about $4.99 a month. And if I'm worth 1 Chick-fil-A sandwich a month, come over and give us a try. You can cancel if you don't like it. It's not one of those websites where it takes 10 things to click and cancel. If you don't like it, you just cancel.
Well, you might be worth 2 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Hey, Rusty, thanks. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoyed it. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to get out of here, running a little bit late. We'll be back with Ed Dudley, coach of BT, next.
Can you hear me? Oh, I have to apologize for that. Absolutely.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, we're back on the Georgia High School Sports Daily on the Peachtree Sports Network. You can find us on about every platform out there. We're on the Georgia High School Football. You can find us through the Play On Sports, which is the National Federation High School Network. You can also get us on the Atlanta News First app. Of course, they're doing a lot of weather right now, but you can get us on the app. We can get us on the CBS portal, Zeam, Z-E-A-M. So there's a lot of different ways. You can also watch us at 11 o'clock every night as the show is repeated. I want to bring in Ed Dudley, the coach at BT. Ed, of course, is a good friend of all of us at SCORE Atlanta. Great high school coach, a lot of fun to be around, good sense of humor. But I'm going to test your sense of humor here, okay? Craig's with me, okay? So we're looking at your record, all right, which is pretty incredible, all right? You coach now head coach at 6 schools, won over 200 games. But I have to ask you a question. When are you going to win that state championship, Ed?
You know, I need to put it in fast forward and hit that pretty soon, IJ. I'm running out of time here. Had a chance and played and lost to a great Deshaun Watson-led team when I was the head coach at Ware County, but would like to get that done before I retire.
Well, you look at it's incredible and you can go on the Georgia Historians, you can Google Georgia Historians and then go to coaches and look up Ed Dudley. So basically, let's take a look at it because it's fun to look at your movement. 1992, you started at Buford, which was interesting because they were an A school back in 1992. Had a 10-2 season, was there for 3 years. Then you moved to Walton. Sitting by a guy that played for you on a couple of those years. 2 of your better years was 2003 when you were 11-0 and went to the second round of the playoffs. And Cherokee beat you, and Craig said that they didn't throw a pass?
I think that's right. They got an onside kick. They popped a quarterback sneak on 4th and 1. Not that I still remember it. A touchdown, and yeah, that was a big upset.
And then the next year, you went 12-2. You go to the semifinals. You lose to a really, really good, very talented Parkview team that year. What do you remember about 2004?
Great. It was just a great year. Undefeated outdoors, I think, is what we used to say about that.
So who was your big defensive end that year? Was that the kid that went to Stanford?
No, that was a few years later.
2007 guy.
Oh, okay.
He's the leader of our 2006 and 7 teams. Talking about Chase Thomas, who's in the Walton Hall of Fame, and was almost as good a player as Craig. And
no, you know what? Let's go back to that for a second. All right, because Craig's been at Score Atlanta for I think about 45 years. All right, and tell me what type of player, what type of kid, Ed, was Craig Sager at Walton High School?
He's one of the best guys I've ever been around. No kidding. A very clutch receiver. And in high school, not the fastest guy you've ever met, but made big plays when the time counted. And we always talk about beating Harrison High in overtime. He made the game-winning catch. It set up our overtime. Just a lot of fun. He was a very long, thin guy who could run routes and always made the catch.
Couldn't play defense at all.
None.
Could not.
No defense.
No.
Real quickly, you left Walton for Ware County, had some great teams at Ware County. Of course, you talk about the fact that y'all went to the finals and lost to a Deshaun Watson Gainesville team. Then you went to Carrollton for a couple of years. Now, Carrollton, is a big draw. I mean, when my son was at Centennial, our coach wanted to play a team where despite the fact that we knew we were going to get beat bad, where they could go and sort of see what football was all about, the stadium and everything like that. So you spent 2 years in Carrollton. Those were tough years. I guess, Ed, those were your 2 toughest years of coaching?
Yeah, I would say so. It's hard to go and flop anywhere, but I had been an assistant coach there, and things had gone well. And then when I went back the second time, it didn't really work. So, you take your chances, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. That one definitely did not work out, but I tell people all the time I wouldn't get to be here if it wasn't for that. So.
And then you went to Winder Barrow, and then of course 2 years ago you end up at BT. This year you're 4-1. Sort of a really interesting non-region schedule, Ed. I mean, playing these really good private schools that are at the lower level, but some great games. And I hate missing the game tonight, Ed. I mean, I think Savannah Christian and you guys really would have been a super matchup.
I think it would have been a great matchup. 2 incredible defenses. We had a really tough time putting a schedule together, particularly with a region that is as small as the one we play in. We only have 5 teams, and so therefore 4 region games. Savannah Christian was in a similar boat, and we were lucky to get a game with them this late in the season. And then to have the hurricane come through, that just, I don't know, it was kind of just Mother Nature conspired against us. But also turning as it did towards Savannah, I know that we made the right call and not having that team out on the interstate in the middle of a hurricane.
Yeah, Coach Dudley, I think this non-region was one of the toughest schedules for anyone in your classification. You played Prince Avenue, Milton, Hebron. You would have had the Savannah Christian. When you look at the 4-1 record, though, obviously you don't have this game, but just 1 loss. How pleased are you just with how your team has been able to attack this early part of the season?
I think it shows a lot of maturity. A lot of these guys have played a lot of snaps, and we feel very fortunate. I feel great about being 4-1. Would have liked to have beaten Milton, but man, they are really good, and they played well against us that night. So yeah, very, very fortunate to be where we are, and it builds a lot of confidence, I think, in our players going forward.
And one guy I want to just give a quick shout out to, the Prince Avenue Christian game. Noah Goddard, your kicker, was kind of coming back into the mix in that game, I believe from an injury in the offseason. What has he brought to the team?
Well, he's been our place kicker for the past 2 years. Highly accurate, got a strong leg, very, very dependable. No moment is too big for him. And he was coming off knee surgery and drilled those 2 field goals in the second half to win the Prince Avenue game for us. So just a really good player and a great competitor.
And Ed, this game with Savannah Christian will not be made up, right?
I don't know. It will not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well,
we'll play next year down there, and it's going to be a big event.
Well, Ed, we hope to get you on TV this year. We appreciate your friendship with Score Atlanta and all of high school football. You're one of the best. Got a great kid who's going to be the next, in my opinion, one of the next really good football coaches in the state. So, Ed, best to the family, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, IJ. Really appreciate everything Score Atlanta does for the game here.
Thanks, Ed. Ed Dudley, the head coach at BT. You're watching the Georgia High School Sports Daily.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting six figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back, we're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to georgiaconstructioncareers.com and start your future today.
The Mechanical Trades Institute is an opportunity towards personal financial freedom through hands-on and rewarding work. Our school is completely free and gives apprentices the knowledge and skills required to gain access to a lifelong career path. Apprentices learn pipe fitting, plumbing, mechanical service, and welding. They earn money as they learn and graduate with no student debt. Start a career with the Mechanical Trades Institute and change your financial future.
All right, IJ Rosenberg here on a dry out Friday. Score Atlanta offices up here in Roswell, right off 400. You're watching the Georgia High School Sports Daily. IJ Rosenberg, Craig Sager, Najee Wilkins. I want to thank Ed Dudley, the coach at BT. Good friend, good guy, just a lot of fun to be around. All right, let's talk a little bit about the games and some of the movement. It looks like right now, and Max and Hayden on our staff have done a fabulous job of making sure that we know what's going on, because that's a big deal for us, because we've got to do everything for the AJC tonight. But there are 23 games, Craig, and but not. I mean, Cobb County's off this week because of their, I guess what they call their fall break. So a lot of smaller schools playing tonight.
That's right. And we have, now these games are in categories. We have the Friday games, we have the Saturday games, we have the Monday games, and then the others. Some of these are being made up in a bye week later on, maybe 2 weeks from now. There's a lot of October games that were originally scheduled right now. But in terms of tonight's big ones, I think the Chattooga-Gordon Lee one will be interesting. We've been talking about Zayden Cook, the state's leading rusher. Chattooga looks like a team that should be ranked in Class A Division I right now. If they improve to 6-0 and have another 30-point win, I think they will definitely be in the rankings. And then the Mary Persons Upson Lee game. Now that Mary Persons is 0-4, after the forfeits, it's going to be homecoming for them. They moved their homecoming dance to Saturday, but it will be homecoming tonight. I think this is an important game for them to get on track and get a big region win.
And let's go to Najee. Can we get Najee up? Najee, you see anything on the schedule tonight looks interesting to you?
Yeah, I think it's the one we talked about at the start. The Upson Lee, obviously, playing up against Mary Persons, obviously after having that, that violation and having their wins vacated. I think that's a critical game for them, as Craig alluded to earlier, a must win. So that's going to be one I'm going to have my eyes peeled on. Schley County versus Macon County is another one. Schley County's kind of struggled early on in the season. Let's see if they can find their footing. They're usually always a contender in their classification. They usually always make deep playoff runs. So I want to see if they can kind of get it together, figure it out. And then the Adairsville Calhoun is another one. I want to see how the Yellow Jackets are going to look. Amari Winston's been kind of injured this season. Expected to be back here pretty soon. So I want to see how they look up against Adairsville in this matchup as well.
All right, let's go to Saturday games right now. We've got about 40 of them. that will be played as early as probably 9, 10 o'clock on Saturday. What's interesting is Saturday is typically a middle school day, so I assume some of these middle schools are probably getting pushed to the side. But 40 games right now on Saturday, and sort of taking a look at them. Hiram plays at Dalton. Looks like a pretty good matchup. Douglas County goes over to Columbia. One of the games, guys, that's kind of interesting is Decatur at Dunwoody.
Yep.
Decatur's ranked now. Dunwoody, I don't know what's happened to them, but they looked really good at Corky Kell.
They looked mid-season form week 1, and now it seems, yeah, they've just been hot and cold. I don't know if it's injuries, good coaching, maybe self-inflicted wounds, but yeah, I think Dunwood is a team that can rise to the occasion and give Decatur a really good game, but it's important for Decatur also because they've got some big matchups coming up. I think there were some games played on Wednesday, of course, also. Thomasville had a big win. I don't know how they got that game in, and then that was also Bacon County beat Berrien 51-12, but in terms of Saturday, oh yeah, the important thing to remember is these games are going to be going on all day. Some of them start at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So when you check out the scores on Saturday, they're going to start early.
Yeah. Najee, what are you looking at this Saturday? What do you like?
Some major matchups, IJ. You got New Hampstead playing Perry. Perry wants to rebound after that loss, that upset win by East Coweta last week, 31-15. They got New Hampstead and Rashawn Truwell, who's one of the better underrated passers here in the state. How do they rebound and region action will be critical for them. Other matchups, Southwest DeKalb at Marist. Southwest DeKalb is having a turnaround year. They're going to play at Marist. Marist is 4-0. This is a big region battle. Southwest DeKalb lost last week to St. Pius X. How do they rebound? And that one, that is another major matchup. And then Thomas County Central versus Lee County. That is the game when you look at it in its totality. Usman Kroma, breaking news yesterday. He delayed his recruitment, his commitment date to next Saturday. Obviously, due with Hurricane Helen and everything like that. But I want to see who comes out on top. This will have a major result, a major kind of thing on the rankings when they come out next week. So I want to see who comes out on top in this top 10 matchup between two formidable opponents. And then my last one is Westover at Peach County. Peach County has been really elite this season. They're my number 2 team in our Score Atlanta poll. Westover is also ranked in the poll. I want to see how they come out against Westover, who has a really good rushing attack.
And Najee, I agree with you on that Southwest DeKalb at Marist game. You know, they haven't beaten Marist in centuries, but you never know. It could happen. Marist, of course, number 1 ranked team. So be interesting to see. All right, when we get back, I've got a couple of interesting, we've got some preseason flag ratings from our guy in Macon, Seth, who we hope right now is on the IR with back surgery. He should be back next week, and we'll be back with that and a lot more as we wrap up this wet Friday. All right, we're back for the final segment for the Georgia High School Sports Daily here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Great football weekend. Let's bring Najee back in, and baseball. I mean, we got to mention, the Braves will play the Royals. They've got 3 tonight. If it means anything, which means that if the Braves are still in it, they'll play the Mets in a doubleheader on Monday, which is interesting because of that situation with the rainouts with the Mets. And right now the Braves are, I think, a game behind both Arizona and New York. So those 3 clubs are trying to get the 2 final spots in the wild card. But, the Monday situation, I'm a baseball guy and spent a lot of time covering the Braves at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, but that makes a huge mess out of the pitching.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because, you're going to end up, if you have to play both games and you do get in the playoffs, you got to do whatever it takes to get in the playoffs, and then you get in the playoffs in a short series and got to play a division winner, and you've used a lot of your pitching, so it's gonna be an interesting weekend for the Braves.
They should handle it. The Royals have not been playing well at all.
But you're a big KC guy.
Yep.
You think the Braves get in, Najee?
I'm gonna say yes, Najee. I'm going on a limb. I think they get it together. They find a little bit of rhythm and they get it going, and they sneak their way in.
All right, Falcons and Saints, guys, real quickly. What do you think? Saints come in 2-1, Falcons 1-2, but the Falcons are moving. Despite the loss against KC, the Falcons are moving in the right direction.
I'm going with the Falcons, yes.
Najee?
I'm gonna go Falcons too. The defense is elite. All they got to do is get the ball to Drake London a little bit more, and I think they'll come out on top.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And of course, the Falcons, they got to play the Saints on Sunday, and then they've got Tampa coming in here on Thursday night. It's amazing how many feature games on TV. They played Monday Night Football in Philly last week against the KC Chiefs here, and then of course they've got Tampa Bay on Thursday night game.
Yeah,
Last
I
night,
enjoy watching this Falcons team. Let's be honest, there are some teams in the NFL it's pretty brutal to watch them play on Sunday, but I think this is an exciting team.
I think they're a good team.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see Kyle Pitts, though, have a big game against New Orleans.
All right, I'm going to go with the Falcons real quick before we dive right back into some high school stuff. Najee, give me your pick on Bama and Georgia.
I'm going Bama. I'm going against the grain. I'm picking your Crimson Tide to come out on top.
Craig?
I have to go with Georgia, but I honestly would not be surprised if Alabama wins. I think Rusty, last time he came on the show, when he was talking about how important this game was for Carson Beck, I think he's 100% right. They have not had a reliable offense since Brock Bowers has been gone. He was such a key piece for them, and if he's not hitting those windows, as Rusty said, making the key throws, Georgia's going to be fighting from behind.
Yeah, it should be interesting. All right, well, in our last segment on Friday, we do What's the Score? We've got some recruiting intel. Najee, you've got something on the Jonesboro 3-star linebacker?
Yes, sir. So Cincinnati landed their first recruit for the class of 2026, Jeremiah Collier. Outstanding player. Had a dominant sophomore season, 104 tackles, 14 tackles for loss. Said he enjoyed the relationship with Scott Satterfield, and Walter Stewart, the defensive line coach there. And this feels like he fits their scheme perfectly. So he's super excited to get back up there. Loves the atmosphere. The game day said the fans are incredible, man, and he feels like he's right at home. So that should be fun. And also, as a teaser, expect a major flip this weekend. I won't reveal who yet, but expect a major flip this weekend in recruiting.
And you want to talk a little bit, y'all both can talk about him. We all know him. Dayton Raiola made his college decision. He is going to continue the family tradition. Of course, his older brother, originally was at Georgia, and then went to Nebraska. The family, there's a big family tradition in Nebraska, and the kids played really, really well for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, hard to believe he's only a freshman. I think it's an interesting decision. Dayton impressed me in our televised matchup. That touchdown pass he threw in the end zone was perfect. One of the best passes I've seen all year. I want to see him continue to be aggressive, but as he's aggressive, limit those turnovers a little bit. But I like to see him leading the talented Buford offense.
All right, we've got the Big Corky Kell Dave Hunter Flag Classic coming up. We do have some preseason flag rankings. Seth, our guy in Macon, did them. There's 4 divisions this year. In the 4th or top division, we've got McEachern, Marietta, Central Carrollton, Colquitt County, and Mountain View. Division 3, Lithia Springs, Pope, Milton, BT, Villarica. Division 2, Allatoona, Greenbrier, North Oconee, New Hampstead, and Loganville. And down at Division 1 in the flag, we've got Southeast Bullock, Dodge County, Columbus, Washington County, and Harris County. Well, Craig, Najee, I appreciate it. Stay to score ATL this weekend. We've got about 23 to 25 games tonight, 40 games on Saturday. We'll be hitting those both on scoreatl.com as well as ajc.com. Don't forget about that. And then we'll also have some of the other makeups when they will be next week. So it was a great week here at the Georgia High School Football Sports Daily. I want to thank the guys at Peachtree Sports Network. Everybody have a great weekend and roll Tide.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
Basic combat training is a 10-week experience that will challenge you both physically and mentally. Each phase of your training will introduce you to new soldier skills, building and advancing them along the way. You and your fellow soldiers will work as a team to accomplish each mission, overcome each obstacle, and earn the right to wear the black beret of an Army National Guard soldier.